Simply put, ambient warfare is the combat simulation that is being constantly evaluated in the background, creating the environment of an epic war for the player to engage in. We really think that this is a big element for Warhawk because we're all aware that the PlayStation 3 can generate HD image quality and HD audio quality, but it certainly can create a very compelling HD behavioral simulation as well. We're talking about hundreds of enemy fighters doing strafing runs on these impossibly large capital ships, those same capital ships firing back with their anti-aircraft weapons and missile launchers and bombard cannons. And although we spend a significant portion of our system resources doing this combat simulation, we also use the cell processor for a variety of natural phenomena as well. So for example, here, this ocean surface that I'm flying around has its geometry procedurally generated by wave simulation every frame, and then sent to the RSX for rendering. These clouds that I'm flying in and around right now are being rendered using a volumetric software ray tracer running another cluster of SPUs. And really, this is an interesting paradigm shift for us because it's the first time that we're mixing cell-based software rendering with RSX-based hardware rendering. Now, certainly, you don't need to use the cell to software render. You can do so if you choose. The RSX has plenty of power on its own. Consider, for example, these capital ships that I'm flying around. They have surface materials that are orders of magnitude more complex than anything we could have done on the PlayStation 2. They feature color maps and ambient occlusion maps, parallax maps, dynamic shadows, and point lights. All of it being rendered by the RSX in true high definition, and all of it being rendered with 4x anti-aliasing. I think the last thing I'd like to mention about this Warhawk demo is really kind of on the production side, given the audience we have here today. And that is that while the PlayStation 3 is a complex and very powerful machine, its entry point and ability to get access to the power of the cell is still very accessible. And I want to share something that we've been doing on the team, and that is that while we have a variety of programs running on the various SPUs for collision or physics or animation or water surface simulation or particles, none of them are actually written in assembly. And I think from a production perspective, that's very, it's very safe, it's very comforting to know that you can access the power of the cell without the traditionally expensive and tedious production costs associated with low-level optimizations. So with that, I'll conclude the Warhawk demo, and I look forward to seeing you at E3, where you